It's Christmas season again. This time of year, it's very hard to review any games since all of the holiday ones have already been played. So I decided to be topical this year. A Star Wars movie just came out, and you know what? What are the odds there was a Star Wars game on the NES? Yeah, fun times await. Oh, come on, I can't afford anything more expensive than this. It's not like Disney goes around and pays reviewers to play Star Wars games. Oh. Well, I didn't know that. Okay, smart asses. I'm gonna ruin the new Star Wars movie. Spoilers! Kylo Ren has hair just like me! Ha! There! Movie ruined. Oh, my hand got damaged.
It's the Pat the NES Punk Star Wars Holiday Special! Starring Pat, Ned the News Bear, DK and DK Jr., with special guest stars, Denise, Frank, B. Arthur. All this at a Nintendo game review on the Pat the NES Punk Star Wars Holiday Special.
The NES sure had some schlocky movie games, ones like Cool World and Hudson Hawk, for example. So there must have been a game based upon the most popular movie ever, right? Well, you already know the answer to that. Developed by Lucasfilm Games and published by JVC in 1991, here we start off with the iconic opening scroll and title music, which is alright, but a little lazy in that it's not the entire song, but only most of it. I got a bad feeling about this. After some exposition, you start off in an overhead view in the land speeder, driving around Tatooine in search for one of a handful of locations to visit. Unfortunately, the directions are not relative, but the D-pad points to the direction that you want to go. So after trying to avoid banthas and listening to music that sounds more like disco music that was popular when Star Wars was in theaters, you can find the side-scrolling sections. The first one is a short tutorial of sorts where you're armed with a blaster and have to avoid the ooze from Action 52 and jump across pits to get a more powerful blaster, hidden randomly in a cave. Thanks, I guess. But you'll need this, since if you try taking on the Jawas inside the Sandcrawler without it, your weak-ass blaster will be no match for those little creatures. If you have the powered up blaster, it's a little easier, but not by much. The platforming unfortunately has you lose a lot of health when you fall from more than about 10 feet, which means that mistakes will cost you a lot. Getting around most of the levels in the game will consist of running by holding B and jumping and using air shaft elevators to advance up the stage. Armpit magic! Jump! The Sandcrawler has falling magnets, health orbs, conveyor belts, an extra life, and robots that cannot be damaged. I'm glad I got that extra life! When you die, which will happen a lot, you'll start all the way back at the beginning of the stage. You get 10 continues, which seems like a healthy amount if not for the extreme difficulty of the game, as you'll see gradually here.
You just keep on gonna die?
Did I remind you that this is still the beginning of the game? Because it is. After a random miracle Jedi jump, you find R2-D2 hidden away. I'm not sure how he could have gotten up there except for maybe those dumb rocket jets he used in Attack of the Clones. Wait, who's explaining this? I'm guessing C-3PO, but how did he get onto the Sandcrawler? Was he tucked away inside Luke's pocket? Next, you'll encounter a nice magenta-colored cave, pretty, where you'll deal with boulders and flying bugs that will knock you into bony spikes. Then you'll have to deal with a robot that looks more like something out of a 1930s sci-fi film than Star Wars.
That's my cue. Enough of this Star Wars garbage. I have a news flash. The greatest scoop in motion picture history. Amazing scenes caught by the camera for the first time. Roll through space aboard the rocket ship. The death fight between shark and octopus. The beasts of Mongo. Weird sharkmen. Nothing like it ever before attempted on the screen. Breathtaking. Awe-inspiring. Greatest of film sensations. Flash Gordon, coming soon from Universal Pictures.
Ned, you do realize that Star Wars was heavily inspired by Flash Gordon, right?
Oh, well never mind then. Say pal, you got a light on ya? I just bought a new pack of Lucky Strikes.
Back to the pretty cave. You'll then find a Tusken Raider that wants to just give Luke a big ol' hug. Come on, let's snuggle. If you touch him, just about all of your power will be drained, leaving you defenseless. So why not just kill Luke outright then? If you reach the end, you'll find mini Millennium Falcons. Well, I didn't know that Luke collected Star Wars toys.
Oh my god, what a loser!
The final location in this part of the game has Luke taking on more flying bugs that blow up when shot while trying to reach Obi-Wan Kenobi. The problem is that you'll be knocked down into the bone spikes with a single hit. I'd rather go to the Tashi station and pick up some power converters and deal with this. Thanks for helping out, Ben! It looks like Obi-Wan got into Frank's secret stash. So Ben gives Luke a lightsaber, which is a new switchable weapon. Yay, yay, yay. After R2-D2 shows off some rave lights, it's time to hit up Mos Eisley to hire a pilot. Yeah, Hyper Cantina Cafe song! You're greeted by a googly purple alien with a flamethrower that cannot be harmed by lasers. Alright, let's try that lightsaber. Yeah, I'm gonna slice his purple ass up. Or bounce off him like rubber. This is supposed to be powerful, not a Nerf bat. After finding Han Solo, you can use him as a selectable character with his own health bar, sweet Empire Strikes Back song, and a more powerful blaster. If he dies though, he won't come back unless you have Obi-Wan revive him, which will also restore everyone's health. You can do this a handful of times throughout the game. Take that, Greedo!
That's right, Han Solo didn't shoot first! He's the only one who shot! George Lucas, you dumb motherfucker!
Once out of the cantina, you have to fight your way to Docking Bay 94, where the Falcon awaits to blast off to Alderaan. But first, you'll have to get past stormtroopers and a spazzy Boba Fett flying around. Once you reach it, you'll encounter the most convoluted hangar ever with even more ladders and air elevators to deal with. Along the way, you'll have the chance to collect more mini Millennium Falcons, and jokes aside, you need to find and grab as many of these as you can for later. Of course, if you die, you'll start all the way back at the beginning of the level. Why? Because f*** it, that's why. After reaching the Falcon, you'll take off, go into hyperspace, and then have to navigate around an asteroid field, which is the blown up Alderaan. And I made it harder for myself since I only collected 4 Falcon shield icons up to this point. Yeah, that's what those are. The more that you collect, the stronger the Falcon is. Why do you have to run around and collect shields for the Falcon? Because f*** it, that's why I already said that. So if you're lazy like me, you'll pay for it here. The asteroids are drawn to you like a magnet, so you'll just have to try and constantly move away from them. Ugh. C-3PO was right. The odds are definitely stacked against you here.
Ugh, this is not enjoyable at all. In fact, I think I'd rather watch the Star Wars Holiday Special than play more of this. Thankfully I can, with my vintage Star Wars movie viewer. Yeah, this isn't enjoyable either.
If you make it past the asteroids, you'll be on the Death Star, although you wish you hadn't. Of course, there are more indestructible enemies, like this stationary gun. And then more annoying air elevators, because stairs and ladders are too primitive in a galaxy far, far away. Next up is the Death Star Labyrinth, which requires a few steps to get out of. First, you need to enter the control room and have R2 get a readout of the Death Star, but it doesn't give you a map, so I don't care. Then you have to find the tractor beam to shut it off. The good news is that there are normal elevators here, but the bad news is that there's 80 of them, all making this a strange, unnecessary maze that's really, really not fun. Everything looks the same, requiring a lot of trial and error, and there's even a separate section that you can only find by guessing and then falling down onto it. Oh, a mech. Well, the blaster doesn't work. I'll try the lightsaber. Awesome. The fact that this is a maze is bad enough, but it's structured so that if you fall down from one level, you'll have to find your way back through multiple floors again. Ugh.
Fluffer nerf herder! Oh man, I need another break. Have to cleanse my palate. Oh, how about some more Star Wars Holiday Special?
Patrick, you're such a loser, one big fat loser with all these games. Patrick, you're such a loser, one big fat loser, so very lame.
I don't recall that being in the special originally.
If you can reach the tractor beam, it will fight back, but it's fairly simple. Then it's on to find Princess Leia, who you aren't required to have to rescue to continue on, but let's try and keep with the film, shall we? Alright, I've searched several cells. Where is she? I don't think she has to worry about execution, since the stormtroopers probably can't find her either. Hell, they probably can't even find the bathroom in this station. I've been holding it for hours. And finally, there she is. Say. Then it's on to try and escape, with Leia now as her own playable character, similar to Solo. You come to another stage that isn't too bad, except for all the frickin' droids that you cannot destroy, even using the lightsaber. Then you take on the trash compactor monster before reaching the worst part of the game. The Death Star stage with tons of air elevators and nasty spikes not just on the ground, but also on the walls and ceilings. Here there are a plethora of death traps that you have no idea where they are until you run into them and die horribly over and over again. Once again, you have to start all over at the beginning of the stage each time you die, requiring you to play perfectly, which while not impossible, is extremely difficult. Yep, did it again. Are you kidding? I haven't experienced pain like this since The Phantom Menace. But at least this is somewhat inspired from the film. If you can get through this joy, including another indestructible mech with missiles, you'll have a first-person shooter mode using the turret of the Falcon to take out TIE fighters. Finally, something enjoyable! Yes! Besides shooting the fighters, you'll have to shoot the green shots coming at you. Don't get cocky! It's about 2 minutes you have to survive, but it feels like forever as it gets more difficult rather quickly. Finally, you reach Yavin for the last 2 stages inside an X-Wing. This is like the Star Wars arcade game, but roided up and 10 times harder. Your shield will get drained quickly, and R2 can restore 1 or 2 hits, but that won't help much against the onslaught. Jesus, how many TIE fighters are there? Go attack Wedge and Biggs, or Porkins! Go kill Porkins! Dead again. Thanks for letting me know that there's only 35% more frustration in store. Wait, this is near the end of the game, so the math isn't even close to correct. Oh, I know what's wrong. They don't have a calculator. That's better. If you survive this madness, you'll get a top-down shooter level inside the Death Star trench with non-Star Wars music playing to awfully set the mood. You'll have unlimited lasers and torpedoes, and just have to avoid a few TIE fighters in the walls before hitting the exhaust port with a torpedo. It's not that easy, but compared to the rest of the game, it's a breeze. Yeehaw! Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million, or a few in a million. I don't know, how many kids beat this game? Star Wars is a very frustrating game that has some nice things going for it, like pretty good graphics, a good music soundtrack, good controls, switchable characters, and the fact that it follows the film's story fairly closely. However, its overly difficult stage design is too cheap in many places, and elements like non-killable enemies just don't make any sense for a game like this. It's not terrible, but it's not good either, which is a shame for a game based upon such a fun movie. When you can say that the strange Famicom version is superior, you know, the one where Darth Vader turns into a giant scorpion, you're in trouble. And for all your pain, you see the 3 characters, minus Chewbacca, who doesn't even show up in the game, looking like action figures.
Well, that was exhausting and not fun at all. I thought playing a Star Wars game would make me feel like a kid again, but nothing. Is that magical feeling gone for good? How can I recapture it?
Hey babe, I'm a big YouTuber. Wanna hang out? Oh, really? Hey, your videos stink. What? You never upload anymore. You don't care about your fans. Huh? I know what you need. No, a corporate sponsor. Leave me alone. No, you need my cash. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. No, leave me alone. Yet, I find you strangely attractive. Of course you do. Big YouTubers are often drawn to money and power, and I have both. And you know it. No, leave me alone. No, kiss me. No, no, yes. No, no, yes. No, yes. Oh. Your sponsorship's so big.
Patrick!
What?
We need it for Christmas dinner!
Knock on my door. Knock next time.
Alright!
Did you see anything?
What, playing with your dolls again? It's the 3rd time this month. Idiot.